Wednesday of this week saw a tragic milestone, the 25th anniversary of the untimely death of Princess Diana, killed in a car crash in Paris in 1997. Diana is a woman who changed the royal family, changed Britain, and in her own way changed the world. In terms of her background, although she wasn't exactly Sharon Watts from EastEnders, she wasn't the typical aristocratic royal princess either. When she met Charles, she was described in the press as a commoner, but she had uncommon gifts. Not burdened by the pomposity of royal protocol, Diana was fresh, real, honest, authentic. From day one, she did things her way and on her own terms, at times in the face of the unforgiving might of the royal family, known, of course, as the Firm. Well, she took on the Firm and won, becoming the most high-profile royal in the country, above even the Queen herself. And her popularity extended beyond these shores. She was a globally recognised, loved and admired figure. She reached out to and comforted AIDS victims, hugging them and taking their hand when it was a taboo. She sought to represent those with no voice and campaigned vociferously against landmines, among many other good causes. She served as a beacon of humanity and empathy for all of her years in the public spotlight. Her wedding to Prince Charles was one of the cultural events of the century. People had street parties. Remember the T-shirts, the hats, the towels? My mum's still got a Charles and Diana mug somewhere. Charles's face has worn out a bit from the dishwasher, but Diana's smile is still going strong. That wedding was a massive moment for the country, and you could argue the beginning of royals becoming celebrities. The crossover between our constitution and traditions on the one hand, and the media and popular culture on the other, all happening overnight, thanks to Diana. Her face, even after she tragically died, would supercharge the circulation of any newspaper or magazine, even if there wasn't a story to report. The public loved Diana, and they just wanted to see her and hear about her. Her marriage to Charles wasn't to be. It didn't help that, to put it in her words, there were three people in that relationship. Charles clearly always loved Camilla and should have married her in the first place. Diana paid the price for the stifling royal rules that made that impossible. And the anguish she went through in the early years of her marriage to Charles was palpable. She wasn't Charles's the one, but she was one in a million. And Diana was used and abused far too often in her life. I know she encouraged the press at times, but they often went too far and crossed the line. And the way she was deceived and hoodwinked into that notorious Panorama interview on the BBC with Martin Bashir was a true scandal. It led to Diana losing her royal titles and, crucially, her elite royal protection. Do the BBC have blood on their hands? You tell me. And we know that the rest of this sorry tale just gets from bad to worse, as she was taken from us in a horrific car accident a quarter of a century ago with an allegedly drunk bouncer at the wheel of her Mercedes-Benz. Diana's story is one of a life lost, but not a life wasted. Quite the opposite. She made the world a better, brighter place. And of course, she was a devoted mother, perhaps her greatest legacy. Let's hope, for the sake of Diana's memory, that the two brothers can be reconciled and rebuild their relationship. Would she have liked Meghan? You tell me. I'll never forget where I was that fateful night when she died and when the grim news came in. I think most of us know where we were. Well, I was in central London working at a radio station called 963 Liberty, which was owned by the Harrods owner, Mohammed Al-Fayed, whose son Dodi, of course, also tragically died that night. I met Dodi at the radio station. He was an incredibly charming man. It's a cruel irony that Diana appeared to be her happiest in years when pursued into that Paris tunnel by avaricious foreign paparazzi. Diana set the template for a more sustainable, more human, more relatable royal family. That legacy continues today. You can see it in the way that William and Kate relate to each other and the way that they're raising their kids. Diana brought her warmth, charisma and stunning good looks into our daily lives. She was the people's princess, absolutely, Queen of Hearts, but she was the perfect princess too. Not in spite of, but because of her imperfections. The public outpouring of grief at her funeral, whilst sneered at by some in the media, was sincere. The public were devastated to lose her, and we've missed her ever since. She's never been replaced, and she never will.